Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to take 2 of these gingerbread men from the Dollar Tree. They're $1.50 now. They're made out of wood. And I'm going to go in with the apple barrel paint in the color nutmeg brown and give them a full coat. And then I'm going to take some of the apple barrel acrylic paint in the color white. And I'm just going to paint all the little accent pieces. Oh, and I did remove the buttons on both and the bow tie on the one on the right. Now for the little girl, I'm just going to take some of this puffy paint from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to take my time and do a lot of embellishing. But I'm just going to use this puffy paint. Begin by making little circles around her head. Kind of make it look like a little headband. Like this. And then I'll just speed up the rest because the rest is just a lot of embellishing, a lot of dots, swirls, lines, curls, all kinds of things. Now here I'm just putting the finishing touches on the little boy. I did most of all his off camera. Now here they are, nice and dry. And all I'm going to do now is just put a little bow on her. And I decided to go with a sheer white ribbon. Keep everything neutral. And that is it for these two. Just simple with puffy paint and ribbon. And this is how they look and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 2, I'm going to take 6 of these wood rounds. I got them from Amazon. And I'm going to go in with the acrylic paint in nutmeg brown. And I'm going to take the Dollar Tree puffy paints and create little faces. I'm just going to do simple little eyes and a mouth, little nose, and some little freckles. And then I'm going to go around the top and go around to give it a little bit of icing. And then I'll take the red just to give it a little bit of cheeks. Oh, by the way, these wood rounds, they're 4 inches in diameter. So just right here. And then I go ahead and do this to all of them. Here's my last one. I'm making some little freckles. Here they are, nice and dry. Now I'm going to take these empty ribbon spools. These are all from the Dollar Tree as well. And some craft sticks. These are from the Dollar Tree. I painted them in the same color. And I'm going to take my little finger knife and I'm going to create a little slit on this empty ribbon spool. I'm just trying to make it big enough so I can place the craft stick inside. Almost there, but it just needs a little bit more. So I'm just going to cut it a little bit more on the other side. And I'm going to add my hot glue. And I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to take my craft stick and place it inside. It goes right through perfectly. And I do this to all 3. Here they are. Nice and ready. I'm not going to paint them. I don't need to. Now I'm just going to take some hot glue and place hot glue on the very top. And then place one of these wood rounds on here. Make it look like a lollipop. And then do the same thing to the other side. That way it's pretty on both sides. Yeah, like this. And so I do this to all 3 in the same manner. Here's my last one. Make sure it's nice and even with the other one. Now I'm going to take my piping bag that I filled with some lightweight spackle. And I'm just going to go around and fill in the insides. And after going around once, I realized that it wasn't quite enough. So I actually did go around a second time to fill it up. So this one I just do the one time, but you'll see this next one I'll fill it in twice. So here it is. Here's the second layer. And I was just about to run out, but I was able to get it done. Just squeeze it all out and continue. And once I finish, then I just set them aside, allow them to dry completely. Now here they are, nice and dry, and I'm taking these little bows that I made with resin back when I did Christmas in July. I'm just going to add these to the tops, make them look extra cute. And then of course some little bows at the base of the rounds. And then that is it. This is how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3, I'm going to take this little house frame from the Dollar Tree. My sweet friend Norma gave it to me. And I'm going to paint the edges with the nutmeg brown. Then on Amazon, I found these really adorable decals of these super cute gingerbread little men. And I decided to use this one here for this DIY. So I'm just going to snip it off and then peel off the backing. Place the decal on the little chalkboard. Use a little scraper to get it stuck on there. It's just a rub-on transfer. And then peel off the carrier sheet. And look how adorable. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. Now I'm going to take the puffy paint from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to create little designs all around the edges of this frame where I painted it with the nutmeg brown. And basically they're just little S's with little dots where the swirls are. So just little swirls like this. Go all the way around. Just around the edges till I get to the other side. Here's just the last bit of it. And then some more little dots just on the top. And I did on the bottom corners as well. And then allow this to dry. And here it is, nice and dry. Now I'm going to take some spackle and I'm going to give it a whipped topping on the very top because I didn't paint it up there. So I'm just going to add some here all the way around, just on the top. I'm not going to do anything to the sides. And I'm going to add just a little bit extra just to make it a little bit more decadent. And then in my stash, I had these cute little gingerbread men that have like a little Santa Claus hat, and I thought that would be perfect for the very top. Now here my spackle is nice and set, and I'm going to use these little foam clay cookies that I made back in Christmas in July video. And I'm also going to take this white baker's twine that I had in my stash, and I'm just going to cut this baker's twine in little pieces, and I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue and adhere these little cookies to each of these little strands of baker's twine like this. Kind of hold it down with a silicone spatula so I don't burn my hands. Right here like this, and I do the same thing to the rest. Here they are, nice and ready. So now I'm going to take some of this pom-pom trim that I had in my stash, and I thought this would be really adorable as a little accent piece for underneath the roof, or I would say maybe the it's the ceiling. Yeah, I guess it would be the ceiling. And I'm just going to adhere it with a little bit of hot glue, not all the way through, just 3 points, the beginning point, the center point, and then the ending point right here, just to make it a little bit easier. Just that way I don't have glue everywhere. Like this, super simple. Now I'm going to take my little cookies that are on the baker's twine, and I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue, the teeny tiniest amount, and my tweezers, and then place it in 3 different points, just hanging down like you would maybe ornaments like this. Super easy. Here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 4, I'm going to take this adorable thick MDF wood round from Family Dollar. It was $3 and I got it last year. I didn't do anything with it, so I'm going to use it today. And I'm going to take some of this crimson paint and paint the top, the bottom, and the back. And then I'm going to take the apple barrel paint in the color white and just touch up the Merry Christmas. There were a few little areas that needed a little bit of touching up. So once I got that done, then I went ahead and then took the end of my brush and I just made little dots all over the red. That way the red had a little bit of interest. So just little polka dots everywhere. And I did the same thing to the very top. That way it's kind of like a complete look. Kind of to mimic maybe some snow, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I thought this would be cute. So just some little dots. Super simple with the end of a paintbrush. Can't get any easier than that. And then I'm going to allow this to dry completely. In the meantime, I'm going to take these 2 gingies that I got from Amazon, and I'm going to go in with the nutmeg brown paint, give them a good coat. Then I'm going to use these puffy paints from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to do some little faces. I'm going to do some black eyes on these, just little rounds like this. And then I'm going to make the little mouths, just a little smile. And then I'm going to take the pink and I'm going to give the little girl a little bow on her head, just by making 2 triangles point to point, and then that makes a perfect little bow like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and give her some little clothing, give her a little shirt, a little collar, and I do her little cheeks as well, make them pink, and then her little dress, and then I'll go ahead and outline the little dress, making her look super cute. Now for the boy, I'm just going to take the red and I'm going to give him little cheeks. And then I'm going to give him a little bow tie right underneath his neck. The same way, just 2 triangles, point to point. And then I'm going to also give him some little buttons, give him some little sleeves, or more like little zigzag, like faux icing. And with these little bottles of the Dollar Tree puffy paint, it's so easy to make these tiny little lines. It's just easier than the name brand tulip paints for sure. Now I'm going to take some white and give him some little pupils on the eyes. Kind of put them down a little bit low. I think that makes them look a little cuter. And then I do the same to the little girl. I'm just taking my time, just doing a little bit of painting here and there. Now for the middle of her dress, I'm going to take the apple barrel paint in the color Candy Pink, and I'm going to fill it in. And I'm just going to use a bamboo skewer to help fill this in completely. And I just take my time till I get it nice and done. Here it is, looking cute. It looks like she's wearing a little jumper. Now for her, I decided to do a little bit more embellishing. I decided to take some of the white and make some little scallops, kind of like it would be some lace. Kind of look like faux lace. Thought this would be really cute. So I did it to her sleeves and to the bottom of her little jumper. Looking cute. In the meantime, I'm going to take some of these wooden people that I got from Amazon. They kind of look like gingerbread people, so I got these because I can't find any of the little gingerbread men at Dollar Tree. Hopefully they'll bring them back this year because I think I am flat out. I may have a few left, but that's it. But I needed some to represent my grandkids, so I'm just taking these. I snipped off the little handles, and then I'm using my utility knife to score off all that extra wood. We don't need it. And then I'm going to take my finger sander and I'm just going to sand off the rest. That way it's nice and smooth and ready to paint. So once I get all these done, here's my last one. I'm going to show you one more. Just kind of score it, cut it off. And here I'm going to use my needle nose pliers to remove this middle part, this extra wood. This one was a little bit more stuck, but we got it. Not a problem. And then of course just sand off everything, get everything nice and smooth, ready to paint. And I'm pretty happy with this. Put all this stuff away. And now I'm going to go in with my nutmeg brown paint, of course. And I'm going to go in with the same puffy paints from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to live it up and do my little embellishing. I don't show all this because it's basically the same as I did the larger gingies. Now here's my wood round, nice and dry. And now here I'm going to place my gingies where I think I want to place them here. And I decided to switch this one out. And I made a different one because the pink didn't seem to go with the red and white. So I made a different one. But don't worry, we'll be using the pink one in the next DIY. Now I'm going to place my little grandkids down here at the bottom. And I have 5 grandkids, so I put the little girl in the middle. She's my granddaughter, and I switched her out for a red and white. And then my little boys on the sides. And I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and glue everything in place. And look at that, like magic. Now I'm going to take a nice big bow that I made with some ribbon that I actually got from Ross. I got this spool of ribbon at Ross. So definitely check out the ribbons there. They have some nice ribbons. I got this last year. And I'm going to place a craft clamp on there to keep it in place while I kind of place the tails of this ribbon. I wanted to make them a little extra long. That way I can kind of bend them and make them look a little ruffly. And I'm just going to tack them down with a little bit of hot glue, just the tiniest bit. And then place the ribbon in this manner. Make sure it's nice and adhered on there. And do the same thing to the other side. Place it right here, right above his head. And now I can remove the craft clamp. And now just for a little bit extra embellishment to gild the lily, I'm going to take a little peppermint, plastic peppermint, and I'm just going to place it in the very center of my bow. And then that is it for this one. I also add a hanger. And that is it. And this is how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 5, I'm going to take this wood plaque from the Dollar Tree that my sweet friend Norma gave me, and I'm going to go in with the nutmeg brown paint and give it a full coat. Now I'm going to take some of this white rickrack trim that I had in my stash. I used it quite a bit last year for Christmas for gingerbread DIYs, and I love the look, so I decided to use it again. And I'm just going to take little pieces, and I'm going to go around this whole plaque with it. And I went all the way around the whole thing. Here's the last piece of it. Now I'm going to take the 2 little girls that I didn't use from my last DIY, and I'm just going to place them here. I'm going to do a little bit of hot glue, and I'm going to place the bigger girl over here on the left, and then the little girl over here on the right. Now I could say this is me and my granddaughter, but she's not that small. She's 12. Now I'm just going to take these Scrabble tiles to spell out the word sweet, and I want to place it up here above, but I feel like it just needs something. So I'm going to take them off, and I'm going to grab my spackle, my lightweight spackle that I have in my piping bag, and do some nice globs of faux frosting. And I'm going to place my little Scrabble tiles on top. And I thought I was going to like it, but I felt like it was still lacking something. So once I placed my little Scrabble tiles and make sure everything was centered, which it wasn't, but I had like scooted down a little bit, but it was okay. You could do it. And then I just kind of maneuvered the little tiles a little bit. I just went ahead and went around the tiles just to give it a little bit more of that frosting or faux whipped cream, whichever you prefer. And then a little bit on this side. And before my spackle starts to dry up on me, I'm going to take my faux sprinkles and give it a little bit of sprinkles on top of my faux frosting or icing. And I'm just going to use these light pink ones to kind of go with the pink theme. And I'm going to use the darker pink ones as well. And I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, my faux frosting icing is already trying to set up on me, so I have to like hurry up. And I decided to also take a little bit of the brown ones just for contrast. And then I'm noticing that my spackle is starting to set up on me. I'm thinking, oh no. So I had to grab my tweezers and just give it a little help, kind of poke everything in place like this. And then I just went ahead and set this aside, allow it to dry completely. Now here it is, nice and dry. And I'm just going to finish this off with a couple little pink and white gingham little bows that I made with some Dollar Tree ribbon. And I'll just place one on each of the top corners just to make it look even more sweet. Here's the ribbon. And then I also had these little embellishments. I decided to use a little lollipop for the little girl, and then a cupcake for the mama or Mimi. And that is it for this one. This is how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. If you're on Instagram, here's my QR code. I invite you to scan it and come follow me on there. I post on there Monday through Fridays, as well as TikTok. Here's my QR code for there. Here is my QR code for Facebook, also Monday through Fridays, as well as my Pinterest. Here's my QR code for there. And here's my Lemonade account as well. And my Threads account. This is my handle, also Monday through Fridays. Here's my Home Talk QR code. I invite you to come scan it. Post on there twice a month. I do have a Facebook crafting group. I invite you to come join us there. And now we're at the final reveal. Let me know what you think and which one is your favorite one. Well, I'd like to take a moment and say thank you for you guys taking time out of your busy day to watch my video. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun creating these DIYs for you guys. You guys know I love gingerbread. And this is the beginning of gingerbread madness. I am so excited. There's going to be so much coming up. I'm going to try and create a new video every single Friday or Saturday. It just depends on my family schedule. And I will let you guys know the day before in my community tab, in my posts. But I'm super excited. And if you guys have any ideas or anything you'd like to see, don't be shy. Let me know. I'll do my best to try and recreate anything you guys would like. I did that before with another subscriber. She wanted me to make something with a butter dish. And voila! Made a butter dish DIY for gingerbread. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. A lot more is coming. Till my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great day. Bye-bye.